Hi everyone, thank you for joining us for Reading Sprints. I've been joined today by two people that I have watched on YouTube, chatted to, but never actually met kind of in virtual real life. So thank you so much, Jen and Ellie, for joining us. Hi, you two. Are you both doing okay tonight?
Hi. Good, thank you. Not too bad.
Yeah, good.
Well,
A little bit
got two
nervous.
people. Oh, I was just
Very
going to say, well, you're
nervous.
both new to live streaming, but it will be fine. It's kind of very casual, and you're just chatting, talking to the people who pop up in the comments. And I just find it's really good for productivity. I write, a bit every night, and then I come on a sprint, and I'm like, oh, people are watching me. I really need to concentrate here, and I do loads. So yeah, it's really nice, and I like it. And I tend to do a bit of reading and writing. Obviously, it's up to you if you want to do productivity stuff. Read, write if you do that, and then I'll bring up the comments as we go as well. So do you want to start off, Ellie, maybe by telling us what you're planning to do in the sprints? Are you going to be reading, writing, or other?
Yeah, I'm actually probably going to be doing some knitting.
Oh, excellent. That's
I'm
lovely. Is that a scarf?
Yeah, it's a Christmas present
Awesome.
for my brother. So I need to get cracking because I don't actually have that long to finish it. So I'm probably going to be doing that. But if I read, the book that I'm reading is Small Favours by Erin Craig. I don't know if either of you read it.
Yeah,
I've not read it yet.
It confuses me because there's a Jim Butcher Dresden Files book called Small Favours. Whenever anybody says they're reading it, I think it's the Dresden Files one, but it's not. So what is that one about?
Yeah, so I mean, I actually didn't read the synopsis before going into this one. I just knew that I liked the author. So I've been like super surprised by everything that's happened. But it's like a kind of fairy tale-esque type dark story. It's set in this small town that has kind of culty vibes, that's bordered by this like dark forest. And we're following our main character Ellery, who lives with her family, and then stuff starts happening. I don't want to give anything away, but it's like spooky and surprisingly
that sounds
scary.
really good.
Yeah, because the cover's got like flowers on it and stuff. So I was thinking it was going to be like quite a nice light read, but it's actually quite intense. So
Wow.
yeah,
I love that. And at least you've warned us, so we know we're prepared if we decide to read it.
Trust me.
Okay, I'm ready. So how about you, Jen? Are you planning to read during the sprints?
Yeah, I'm planning to read. I haven't picked up my kind of current but not current read all month, it feels like. So I'm going back to this one. It's called Tinder by Sally Green.
Oh, okay.
And it's really cool. I thought it was going to be more graphic novel than not, but it's just got like illustrations dotted throughout it. And it's kind of like middle grade YA on the cusp of the both. Kind of like, I'd say gothic fantasy about this, this man who's deserted the war, and he's like wandering around through the forest, and he finds these weird sort of shape-shifting wolfy kind of entities, and he's just trying to figure out what is going on, why they keep coming up to him. There's like mysterious houses, like castles that disappear the next day. Like, it's all very strange and wonderful and miraculous. And then if I want to switch it up, I am going to jump back into The Sandman. So I'm on volume 5 of this one. So I've got 2 on the go.
Awesome. Yeah, I haven't read any Sandman yet, actually, or watched it, but I've heard it's really good. So you're on volume 5. Are you really into them?
Yes, I'm really into it. The first volume I read a good few years ago, and I will say it did confuse me, but then when I carried on recently, when the TV show was coming out originally, I really I got into it so much. And I feel like the TV show, if you do decide to watch it, it makes more sense. So I don't feel you necessarily have to read the comics first in that sense, which usually I'm like, read first. But no, it makes sense on its own, which is a good thing.
Oh, cool. Maybe I will try the TV show first. And I'm not good with confusing. I tend to get really lost with stuff. So it sounds like you're both reading really cool things. I am reading The Midnight Game by Cynthia Murphy, which comes out in January. I've really enjoyed Cynthia Murphy's other books. And I'm at that point near the end of a horror thriller where everything's just kicking off. And I didn't want to put it down, but I'm buddy reading it. And now I've kind of had the go ahead to read to the end. So I'm hopefully going to finish it and find out, because we've kind of found out what has happened, but I think we're going to get the why now, which is always really interesting to me. So I'm hoping I'm going to write enough so I can read this. I'm also writing a book that I am trying to finish by the end of this month. I've written I think about 55,000 words now, and it's probably going to be,
Oh my goodness.
no, maybe about 70. So I've probably got a good 15,000 words to go.
Ooh.
No pressure. In the next like 13 days,
Oh
it'll
my
all be fine. I've been writing about 1,000 words a day, so I'm not far off. And it's been really hard, this one. I think I've just figured out, though, I've been kind of struggling with the structure a little bit, and there's just something clicked today, so I'm going to try this new idea I've had. So cross my fingers. Do you two ever write, or are you more the reading side of
I'm definitely more of a reader. I have not written anything since like year 9 English.
Okay.
But no, I don't have the talent for it, really. I like to read what other people have created, personally.
Yeah, I'm the same. I would love to write, but I just don't have that creative like spark. Like, I'm just not great with words, like writing.
I don't know. Like, if you want to do it, I think the good thing with when you try it for the first time is that nobody has to even know. Like, you don't even have to tell anyone. You can just have a little try, write it by hand, write it on your phone. I've got a friend who wrote a whole book on her phone when her baby was asleep on the bed. Like, you can do it anyway. And I think before you publish, you're under no pressure. So if you've even got that slight inkling, I would always recommend kind of just giving it a go, because if it's terrible, you can be like, oh, well, that didn't work. Or you might think, well, that didn't work, but maybe some other thing will. And you kind of keep going. And then before you know it, you write something that does work. So I heard a little bit of doubt, Ellie. So I'm just going to like keep out that. Just think maybe you could try it. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Just going to go to comments. Oh, sorry, you tell us.
I think if I was going to write, I'd be tempted to write middle grade, because I do like middle grade stories. I think that would be really fun to write.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's a nice audience to write for, I feel. Definitely.
Yeah. Sorry, I got distracted by the cat. Like, that's a beautiful cat.
That was my cat, Casper.
Oh, perfect. That is amazing.
Oh,
wow. Yeah, I think middle grade would be fun. I've occasionally tried to write middle grade and it's turned into YA. So I'm going to try it at some point, but it's kind of knowing how to pitch it for me, like to make it kind of accessible language wise. I know that the middle grade audience can be very smart, but kind of how you pitch that, and also not making it too, because I think, like, for example, Cynthia, this is like super dark and scary and fun, and like this seems to be what I gravitate towards more when I'm writing. So maybe one day I'll find the right story, but it hasn't happened yet. It all turns out YA. Hi, Stephen. Thank you for joining us. Oh, well, we'll see you if we see you. Pop on and off, in and out. I hope it's a nice, calm train journey anyway. Hello. See, Lizzie has been either on sprints with me on screen or kind of like in the comments. And whenever Lizzie's here, I write really well. So I'm very pleased. I love Lizzie's company anyway. But somehow she's very motivating. So thank you, Lizzie. Even if you've just popped up, I now feel like, and then you're going to go away again, I feel like I'm going to do something good today because Lizzie's here. Hi. Hi, Laura. Thank you for joining us. Let us know in the comments if you're planning to read or watch stuff. The other ones are so good. I can't wait to hear what you think by the end of that, Lizzie. I know Lizzie's been working on Ordinary Monsters for a while as well. Have either of you read either of those 2 books?
No, I don't know if I've heard of the other ones. I think I'm familiar with Ordinary Monsters, but tell me what's the other ones about?
Okay, so I think you'd like the other ones. It's described as the Gilmore Girls meets Heartstopper, but make it spooky. So it is set at Halloween.
Sounds amazing.
It's autumnal. It's kind of like there's pumpkins and it's that time of year. 2 really cute boys, sort of will they, won't they relationship. Won't give too much away. Really nice group of friends, so that kind of family feel, and then stuff about actual family dynamics, and then a house that's very spooky and maybe haunted. So yeah,
that sounds
it's really good. It's kind of
very good.
I wasn't sure how far it'd go into cute and spooky. It does like a bit of spooky, but mostly really cute and wholesome, and then deals with some real like contemporary issues too that are a bit more hard hitting. So yeah, it's very good.
A good balance.
Yeah, it's by Fran Hart. It came out, I think, in October. Similar to, in fact, the same day, 16 Souls, which I also really liked. By Rosie Talbot. So
add that to my Goodreads, I think.
I'm literally just adding it now.
Do it. 16 Souls and the other ones are 2 of my top recent tips. Hi, Kasha. Thank you for joining us. I was on a sprint with Kasha last night on her channel, Kasha's Book Cemetery, and it was very fun. And Lizzie was with us, and I did good writing, so I'm just hoping that will continue tonight. See, so dedicated, studying during sprints. very good use of your time on the bottom of your bag. Okay, so maybe a bit of fun reading in between studying. Hi, Caroline. Oh, I hope you're enjoying every line of you. I really liked that one. Have either of you read that?
No,
sorry, I'm coming at you with all the UK.
No.
This is all UKYA. So this is like all my genre. I don't know. I don't think yet YA is particular genre, but these are all like books by UK young adult authors. So that's the kind of thing I read. Every line of you is about a girl who creates an AI, falls in love with him, and has this dysfunctional Bonnie and Clyde-esque relationship where everything starts to go wrong. And
cool.
yeah, that's really fun as well. It's sort of sci-fi
really
romance,
cool.
I would say.
I don't think I've read anything from that genre, like a science fiction romance type thing. It sounds interesting.
Oh, Kasha is a cat fan, so any more cat content I'm sure will be appreciated.
Oh, your cat is so cute. My one's sleeping next to me, but you can't see her.
Oh,
cat appreciation. We don't have one, but we have cats sort of in the family. My toddler absolutely loves them, so don't feel that I'll get one, but I'm very tempted. Yeah, see, lovely YouTubers that you haven't come across before, and here they are. You can follow their channels right now. They're both, I don't know whether they've disappeared, like whether you can see your names, but I will get my husband to pop in the comments both of your channels. I don't know how this tech works. I'm just a complete novice, but I'm assuming your channel names are still there. I can't see it currently because of the comments. But Twilight, is that a read? How are you feeling about it? How do we feel about Twilight, you two?
I loved it. I've got to say, I loved it at the time. I haven't reread it, so I think in my heart I'll always still love it. But I know it maybe not has aged well, shall we say. I still have Midnight Sun to read. That's all right.
Oh, me too.
I still have Midnight Sun to read, so I don't know. I've got to hype myself up for it. Maybe a buddy read.
I was just going to say that. Maybe we should, if all three of us haven't read it, maybe we should do that.
We should do a buddy read.
Yeah, I was thinking next year I'd quite like to read it, and since we're all a bit tentative, because I've done the same thing, like, will I love this, or will it just not do the same things that Twilight used to do? Like, I was so intensely obsessed with it. I think it came out when I was in my early 20s, and I was in America, so luckily all three were out, and I got the paperback on holiday, and then went back to the mall and bought the next two because I just loved it. And I was at Disney, and I was just reading Twilight in the queues, like between every ride. Like Twilight come out of the back and read in the queue. So yeah, I think I did reread the first book and I really enjoyed it, but I didn't have that same kind of passionate obsession. I think it was just a really fun book with some, slightly problematic behaviour that I maybe didn't notice at the time.
At the time,
This
definitely.
is why I want you to reread it.
Yeah, I know. Like, it was so cute when you were young.
I just want to keep it pure and like how I felt at that time, you know?
Yeah. If you can't separate the two, maybe leave it alone. No. I don't know. I still appreciate how I felt about it then, and you know, maybe just felt slightly differently now. Yes. Definitely. Oh, so you did finish it. Awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Lizzie. Oh, so Lizzie's cat has to wear a cone to stop himself from licking, etc. So yeah, not very happy.
Oh, bless.
Yes, I mean, I'm interested, Caroline. So have you reread them recently, and do they still hold up? Because I love it when people like reread stuff from when they were younger and they still love it. Like The Forbidden Game is one of my favorite point horrors. Loved it when I was 11 or 12, and then I've read it recently, and I was like, yeah, I still love it. So that's good.
You still love it? Oh my
gosh.
Yeah, but again, there were slight things where I thought maybe not the best description, but I think stuff written in the early 90s, I just don't think
they're never going to be on par. Yeah,
we just weren't aware
their
of
words.
Things.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so you can click the names to be taken to the channels and the title of the sprints. Thank you, Lizzie. I'm glad Lizzie is an experienced person. And you should follow Lizzie right back because she's awesome.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, yeah, cone of shame. No pets like the cone of shame, do they?
Oh, no. Oh,
no. Okay, that's cool, Laura. I love it that you managed to
nice.
not read Twilight up to this point. I'm excited for you. I remember my first Twilight read, and it was very memorable.
Oh my gosh, I was so addicted for so long. Like I fell hard in love from the first page. I think it was just, I'd stay up so late, and I'm like a 9 o'clock, even to this day, I'm a 9 p.m. in bed kind of person. Whether that's just getting cozy and reading, have a cup of tea or something, I like to be cuddled in bed. But I would stay up till like midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., just next chapter. And it was never just the next chapter.
So what team were you, or are you still? Important question.
I think I was always Edward, but I did sort of switch to Jacob, like when he had his little moment. I know. When he had his little time to shine.
Yeah.
I went back to Edward after.
I love that.
How about you, Ellie? Did you have a specific team?
I was Edward all the way when I was reading the books. I think now, if I was to reread, I'd probably be Jacob.
Yeah.
At the time, I was fully obsessed with Edward. Yeah.
I watched them. Oh, what was he in? Cuckoo, like random UK series. He popped up and I was like, hang on.
Cuckoo.
Jacob,
and he was in it.
Yeah. And I got a bit confused because I always thought it was Team Edward, and then I saw Jacob now. I was like, actually, if I rewatch these, maybe I might change my mind. But you know me, I'm like vampire girl, so I kind of, I feel like it's always going to be vampires to me.
You had your loyalties.
Although I did write a werewolf story recently and really enjoyed it and felt a bit like a betrayal, like, I like werewolves too. Who knew? Okay, so Lizzie is warning us that Edward does some questionable things and being inside his head is a slog. So maybe it might be an interesting experience and we can kind of critique Edward as a vampire.
Okay. It sounds like it could be quite fun, actually.
Yeah.
I think that might be a nice reflective book.
I think we might have a few things to say.
We should do that, definitely. Should give that a go.
Oh, okay. At least he's behaving and wearing the cone today. This is good. Oh, okay. So we'll prepare ourselves. We're getting the real truth from people here.
Yes, definitely.
No, I haven't watched the films for a long time. I'm quite tempted. I don't know. Maybe I'll read Midnight Sun and then go back and watch.
Oh, do you know? I feel like I can handle. Oh,
sorry, I just saw that and I was like, that's the correct answer, actually,
definitely.
isn't it, maybe?
That's so true.
I'm gonna start
they don't get
that
enough credit.
And isn't it a thing that we've aged into that as well? Like when
I think that's
in your 20s, and suddenly I'm in my 30s, and I'm like, hang on, Carlisle.
Going to the dance.
I love that.
Yeah, I find that though when I watch stuff like The OC now or 90210, I'm like, oh, it's the dads now. No. So
I've entered that stage of my life.
Yeah, Gossip Girl as well. Like, whose dad is it? This really hot. Dan Humphrey's dad, and I was like, oh, it's not about Dan, it's about the dad.
Like, even at the time, I was a bit like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's how you know you're getting older on the teen stuff. Oh, interesting. Some like proper Twilight holding out there. Don't know. I wouldn't write it off, but if you're definitely not into the idea, obviously I would never force you. Yeah, I mean, I can't actually remember that much. You're saying that, and I'm like, maybe I need to. I just read Twilight. I didn't really read the others. Maybe I need to kind of read a bit further. I do remember some problematic Jacob behaviour in Breaking Dawn. Is that the fourth one?
Oh gosh, yeah.
To do with a baby, and not going to say too much more. I don't think it's too bad before Twilight at this point, but that bothered me a little bit.
That was like a roll off for me. I don't think anything could ever make that make sense.
And then the movie was
very weird.
Very weird. CGI'd. Wasn't it like a CGI composite of like Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson?
On
the baby
it was
really
so
wrong.
Strange.
Yeah.
So strange.
Yeah. 800 pages. This is going to be like an epic budget.
It's a long book.
It's going to be like 12 months later when we finish this book.
Oh, God.
Good morning. Oh, where are you, Elena? If you don't mind
Oh.
telling us, I'm interested when I'm getting ready for bed and people are just starting their day. Yeah, I mean, Alice and Bella would have been a very, very
that
good
would have
story.
been an iconic romance for sure.
I bet there's some
loved
fan
Alice.
fiction out there. Yeah.
Probably. Oh my God, Alice was one of my faves.
Ah, excellent. Okay, we'd love to hear what you think, Laura, as you go, being that it's your first read. Good Girl's Guide to Moving On. I've not heard of that. How about you two?
No, I've not heard of that either.
No. You have to let us know, Elena, what that was like. Okay, so yeah, don't read Twilight if you don't like paranormal fantasy.
Yeah.
Not for you.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, paranormal fantasy romance, that kind of takes all three of those. Do you know what? I think I've only read The Short Second Life of Britannia once.
Oh, I
Like,
really enjoyed
literally when it
that.
came out, yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I know I said I haven't reread the main books, but I reread I think Twilight in the form of the graphic novel, but I think they stopped
Okay.
making them. They did like a part 1 and part 2 to the first one, and then I think they came out with the second one, and then it kind of just disappeared. But the art style was so cool in that, and I just wanted to like flick through all the pretty pictures.
Yeah, no, I had to as well, and I was really disappointed when they just
gorgeous,
disappeared.
yeah. And there
I
was
wonder if it
like I
didn't
couldn't find
sell.
any announcement or what, but yeah, it
Yeah.
just disappeared.
I've learned this about publishing. Things can, like, you think it's going to be, because it's epic for you, that it's going to be epic for
Yeah.
publishing, but they're just like, the numbers aren't great, we're just going to leave it there.
Oh, that
So yeah,
sucks.
I know it is. It's quite a brutal industry, I've realised, because I don't know,
Wow.
like, it's all about contracts and it's all about kind of looking at how much books are selling. But it's great. I can't complain. I love writing books, but it is, you start to think of it, it's a business. You're writing this thing that you're passionate
Yeah.
about, but it's also a business of selling and people making money and stuff.
Yeah.
There's more
So on
to
that
it.
depressing note, let's get to the questions.
How many books have you... Sorry, I think there's a bit of a delay on my thing.
Oh, it's fine.
How many books have you written, Amy?
So 2 published ones, Mina and the Undead and Mina and the Slayers. I have had a short story published in Lurking in the Dark, which came out in October. That was my werewolf one, which was really fun. And I've written many other things that did not see the light of day. Some of them I tried to get an agent with. Some of them I would never, ever let any human read, like, even if they did. It's like I said, like, some of the early stuff you write is just you practicing and figuring things out. So yeah, I wrote a lot of things, and some that you just would not believe, like genres. Like, I wrote a contemporary romance. I wrote, what else did I write? There's been some other random stuff I can't even remember now. I wrote a fantasy, which I may brush off at one point because I did like that. That was quite fun. It was like a horror fantasy.
Oh, that sounds
that one. I never did anything with it. I literally finished it and then I think I maybe moved on to Mina, so I just left that one there. So maybe I will at some point bring that one to my agent and say, is this any good? It's all written and ready to go. Yeah, so I'm going to grab my laptop. I will pop the timer on. Warning to both of you and to anybody who hasn't seen mine before. I use Pomodoro Kitty, which you'll see the timer 40 minutes and then it will meow loudly at the end, usually when you're reading something really scary and suspenseful. And make you jump. So fair warning.
Thank you.
I'll mute you both during the sprint so that people can't hear you talking, but if you want to turn your camera off, it's up to you. You can do that it says stop cam at the bottom.
Oh yeah.
I tend to just leave mine on and you can see me like frowning as I'm writing stuff. So yeah, whatever you feel the most comfortable with. I will pop the kitty on and we will go to the sprint. So we will see everyone on the other side. Let us know in the comments how you're getting on with your books and what you're reading, what team you're on, Team Edward or Jacob. We would love to know. And we'll see you on the other side. Hello. Hope the kitty didn't make anybody jump too much.
I was prepared. I was prepared.
I was still not at the same time. Like every time I see it counting down and still go, oh, it means. I suppose you have real cats living with you, so maybe random meows.
True. Yeah.
Oh look, I didn't even notice. Cat's going to very cute. So I had a toddler wake up in the middle of that sprint, so of course I was super productive. Managed to get a few hundred words done, which is still fine, but yeah, of course he wanted mummy. So did you two get on any better? How about you, Jan? Did you get much reading done?
Yes, I did. I got quite a few chapters done, actually. I'm now at page 226, so I've not got much long left from this book.
Oh,
did quite well.
Are you enjoying it?
I am. It's really good. Yes. Oh my gosh. I think my face betrayed some of my emotions at some point. So I was like trying to cover myself. But I was like, but it was like a bit shocking. Some things were shocking.
Yeah. I like that. I like reading shocking books on a sprint. Somebody was reading one of my books on a sprint once, and I was watching it, and it was so weird because she was right near the end when some of the twists are happening, and she just kept going.
Oh my god!
It's a sign of a great
experience. Yeah,
I'd like to think. Thank you. I'm towards the end of this one now, and I'm just starting to think: how many twists is too many twists? Like, how many things can I do to these?
Never too many twists.
Yeah,
never too many.
It's the good thing with lots of twists is that you can kind of hope that people won't get some of them. Like if you're relying on one big twist and people guess it, you kind of haven't got anything else. Yeah, there's a few. Hopefully you can surprise some people. How about you, Ellie? Did you get some knitting done?
I did some knitting.
So how much can you mark in progress? Like where did you start?
So this yellow stripe is new.
Oh, cool.
Ooh, so, I love the colours.
I'm so slow at knitting though. It's taking forever. But yeah, it's going to be cute when it's done.
I might have to message you about knitting because my grandma sort of started teaching me to knit, but I was really bad at like remembering even things like when you finished a row, it's like, what do I do now? Like, how do I go on to the next one? Yeah. And I've been thinking about getting back into it, but I just can't remember how to do it. So it's so stressful. Yeah, I think when you know how to do it, like when I'm actually in a row, I'm fine. But then I'm like, what do I actually do? I can't ever remember. Is it called? What's it called? Taking the thread off, the wool off at the end. There's a name for that, I think.
There is a name for it, but don't ask me what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's nice and relaxing. I like to have something to do with my hands. But this one's a bit of a nightmare because obviously it's like changing colours loads. So keep having to change the colour of the wool. But yeah.
Well, it looks lovely. And it's nice that you can see the progress, I think. The fact that you can see like one stripe that you've just done there, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Let's pop to the comments then and see how people are doing. I am enjoying it. So it's another one that has not aged well. I would say it's aged even worse than Twilight because even the author commented. So under my post, I was like, oh, I didn't realize she was going to see it. But she commented on my post because somebody had said that they found it a bit cringy on a reread. And she said that actually they've been allowed to make some changes to some of the language and things because like I won't go into it because it's not great, but like there's certain characters that call each other things kind of affectionately, but then you sort of cringe, like you just couldn't do that.
Okay.
And then calling things not affectionately that are just really inappropriate. And I'm not that easy to offend. I can generally see big picture of like when books were written and things like that. But yeah, even me, some things I was like, oh, there's quite a few of these. So yeah, I am enjoying the story and kind of remembering those feelings of how much I enjoyed it the first time. I'm also being mindful that there's things that even the author says that she would now change. So
yeah,
interesting. And it's quite weird, isn't it, to think that like, I mean, I don't know when they were written, but a long time ago, certainly around the time of Twilight, that you could like still be having to review books at that point, like try and bring them up to date. That terrifies me. I'm not going to think about that now. Every book
all this to come.
Yeah.
It's always good when an author comes out and says though that like they recognize that some things aren't like appropriate and they're willing to make changes and things. So
definitely,
I think that is all you can do. You can't know everything, and like I think when I think of the way that some people at school like used to talk to each other and stuff like that, like some of the language you'd use, like I grew up at an era of like certain words like gay. Some of the boys used to use that as an insult. And like, even then I was like, no, that's not an insult, but they just genuinely couldn't understand that. And I think now in school, that would instantly be recorded as an incident. And, you know, people would get excluded over and things like that. So I think that language has come a long way. And sometimes people might be thinking about their school days and trying to replicate that when we've actually moved on from there. But I'd like to think that if I ever made a misstep, that I would just own up to it and say, I'm really sorry. I can't know everything. Like there's one word, I can't remember what word it was, but my friend told me the particular word I'd used. And she was like, oh, I think that has, like in America, has got some negative connotations. And I looked it up and I was like, oh, wow, yeah. Not terrible, but not great either. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to take that out. But like that could have gone in there. I didn't know that this word had like layers of meaning. So it's quite scary. I wouldn't want to think that I'd written anything that could upset somebody or offend a reader. And you just don't know. You can't know everything. So I think you're right, Ellie, definitely. It's just kind of being honest, not being defensive and saying, no, I'm perfect and my book stands on this pedestal untouched. But like, I think I would just be like, yes, I'll change it. Thank you for telling me.
Yeah,
definitely.
Like even in my group, particularly book 2, like I made some really big changes because I was like, oh, I can do this better. I can do better here. And, you know, I think even at that stage, I was like, yes, I just need to make sure that this is absolutely as unquestionable as I can make it at this point. Well done, Elena. Chapter 16, just finishing with chapter 15. Going to keep going through these comments. Yeah, I'm sure you will, Lizzie. Well, I appreciate the fact you are motivating me being here, even though my toddler would have other plans. I need to keep the Lizzie motivation going. Oh, I'm sorry for the kitty confusing that happened before. I do apologise.
Casper just slept through it all.
Oh, a very cool character. Well done, Lizzie. Getting a thumbnail made. That was difficult to say. I don't know what. Casting on and casting off. I think that might be. Yeah, I think it might be. You and me both, Caroline. I really want to relearn how to do it. I'm so glad, Kasha. I keep seeing that and thinking I want to try it. Have you heard of it or
I've read
it?
that one. Yeah, the Luminous Dead. It's really good.
Yeah, I've not read it.
Yeah, it's like it's a suspense book, and it's really intense. It's all set down in these caves. So the idea is that there's this woman who's like doing the cave dive, and she wears this suit that's controlled by her handler. So her handler
I have heard of it.
Yeah. It's such an interesting premise, and it's really like claustrophobic. And,
I feel like I might feel sick reading it.
Yeah. I'm not good at small spaces in the best of times. So when I was reading it, I was like, ooh. But
I don't know. Kasha knows me really well. I'm going to wait till Kasha finishes and be like, Kasha, can I handle this book or not? So I really want to read it. I don't know if it's too much for me.
Gosh, isn't it on audio book? Oh, I feel like that'd be really in your head.
Yeah, I know. I'm listening to Kill Creek on audiobook at the minute, and I thought it would be better in a way, but it's just like it's infesting my brain. The fact that it's an audiobook, like, you know, as you can hear it playing, and you're like, I want to stop.
It's too intense.
Just because I'm driving. If this was a book, I'd be able to put it down. Because I'm driving, it's just playing at me.
There's no stop.
Yeah, and I've got it quite fast too. I think I've got it on about 1.5, so it is just relentless, and I'm really enjoying it. But it's got very intense. They left this sort of a group of her writers, if you haven't read it, go to a reputedly haunted house, and I'm not going to spoil too much, but they leave the house and stuff continues to happen, and it's getting really intense.
Oh
That's
god.
scary.
Oh, I'm sorry about the jumpy cat. It's just the only thing. I've got used to it now. I find it comforting until the meowing moment. Yeah, I need to know. Lizzie, you need to tell me whether I can cope with the Luminous Dead. Lizzie is starting to learn my threshold as well for horror. Yeah, Tasha was really enjoying it with Last Night's Friends. Yeah, I mean, I'm tempted. I think that maybe that's if I can cope through Kill Creek, I think I can probably hopefully cope through that. So yeah, I do think I'm going to use my next month's credit for it. Maybe listen during the day when I can stop it. But when I'm driving, I'm just at the mercy of your pain. Oh, awesome. Thank you, everybody who's joining in the comments.
Oh,
I'm glad that people are getting some really cool that I know, like recommending books to each other and stuff. Oh, Did I freeze?
You froze, but you're back. You're back.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just saying it's really nice. Like people that I sort of know recommending each other books and kind of working out what other booktubers like is really nice, because I think you can end up sort of finding stuff that you wouldn't have found normally. I think that's the best and most expensive thing about booktube, isn't it? Are there any books that you've discovered because of like booktube or TikTok that have been like real favorites this year?
Oh, so many. I feel like everything I read is recommended from some sort of social.
Same here. It's where I get all of my recommendations. I've read so many good books this year. I've like dipped my toe into horror this year, which has been fun. So I've always thought that I wouldn't like it, but I've actually quite enjoyed what I've read so far. So yeah, I read The Haunting of Hill House last month, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, your review of it made me think I need to pick that one up, because I enjoyed the TV show, and I'm glad you said that it's different, because I think I need to be prepared adaptations. If I know that they're different going in, I'm kind of okay, but I think
I heard it's a complete different story.
Yeah,
it is
kind of
really
basically just it's a haunted house, full stop. That's where the similarity ends.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. The main character is called Eleanor, shortened to Nellie. So there's a Nellie in the Netflix show, and there's like a couple of scenes that are like in the book, but it's mostly just
not much.
Different. And the Netflix show is way more intense and horror, whereas this one's much more slow and
Okay. Oh my God.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I think I need to get it. I haven't read much kind of classic horror, but the stuff that I have read I really, really enjoy, like Dracula and Carmilla, I absolutely love. So I think I need to probably try a little bit more. I think Gav on How to Train Your Gavin did like a gothic book recommendations video, and I remember thinking I need to bookmark this so that I can come back to it when I've got some brain space for reading classics, because I think that they're quite I don't know, you have to be in the right frame of mind to be able to read them.
Definitely.
But is it quite a long one? Is it a long one, that one, or is it on the shorter side?
No, it's quite short actually, short and sweet. So yeah, and then the writing's not too difficult to get into as well, because I feel like sometimes with classics, like you say, it takes your brain a while to have to like tune in. Whereas I feel like this one's quite easy to get into. So yeah.
Okay, that's another book I need to add to my list in the next one. I've got a Word document open, and I'm like, just add another book to it. Why not? I've done since I started these sprints, I just do so many book orders now, and they just keep arriving. And also I keep getting them from publishers. Like I got some from Scholastic today, and I was like, oh, that looks really good. But at the same time, oh no, it's getting out of control. The book I want to read by the end of the year is just, I don't even want to think about it. I probably need to do a video about it, because I've got a shelf, like a whole shelf, that was books I wanted to read this year. And it's not a huge shelf. It's one of those that's like a CD shelf, but still it's probably got 20 or 30 books. So that's how my year went. I think I did a lot of reading. Do you two like to have a TBR that you stick to, or do you kind of go off a little bit?
No, I like to read.
Yeah, I'm a mood reader. I try to do like seasonal TBRs, which for me are mainly like guidelines of books that I'd like to get to, but it's not like I have to read everything on that list and I can deviate and stuff. It's more to kind of focus so that I can gather books that I might have been looking at for a while and when I get off my shelves, but it's not like a proper be all and end all. I definitely need room to let my mood decide.
Yeah, I think I get a bit stressed when I look at my TBR room, which is basically what it is at this point, like a room of unread books. So I feel like
a room. Oh no.
Yeah, so I think having a TBR shelf does help me, because I think, right, I'm going to try and read some of these this month, and it gives me a bit of focus. Yeah. But I know that there's certain books like Spike, Bloody Fool, and the Bloody Fool for Love prequel, Spike prequel, Bloody Fool for Love, has been on my TBR about 5 times, and I really want to read it, but just for whatever reason, I haven't got to it, and that stresses me too. So I really need to read it by the end of the year. But yeah, I mean, it's stuff like things that I didn't expect to come. Like I didn't realise that Cynthia's book was going to arrive this month. And I was like, okay, everything else is just going to be on hold until I read this. Because like you said, I get a lot of recommendations from BookTube and TikTok, but then I've got certain authors that, like, when one of their books arrived, I'm just like, have to put everything down and read it. And Cynthia's one of those for me. So Yes, and I've just found out that she's doing a launch in January too, in Manchester with Naomi Gibson, who wrote Every Line of You that we were talking about earlier. I think it's open to public, so that'll be quite exciting. I can hear them talk about their books. Elena's just popping on to say hi to us, and then I think we will go into another sprint. Oh, that's such a mood. Yes. Yeah, I mean, I put like 10 books on my pile every month and go, I'm probably going to read 5 of these. So I'm just setting myself up for failure. But some months I can read 10 books, some months I can read 3 books. So it just depends.
Yeah.
Are you two both? I think you're quite, I don't know, quite variable, both of you. Like, can you read quite a few books some months and not others?
Yeah. Like last month I found that I read less than I have been all year. Still a really good amount, but I've been hitting like the 20s and that because this year I started reading audiobooks and I was shocked. I thought I could never do it.
Amazing.
But I really got into like Audible and I was like, oh my gosh, this is how a lot of people do it. And I've been just neglecting that side for so long. But so far this year I've only just finished my first book of the month. And then I finished like a really quick poetry one after that, just for some instant gratification. Because I was really chipping away at this big one. But yeah, sometimes it depends really. And like sometimes I find as well, depending on the genre that I'm reading, some take me longer to get through than others, you know. So yeah, definitely varied.
How about you, Ellie? Do you tend to find that there's a certain amount you can read each month, or does it change?
Yeah, I'm a pretty slow reader. So I normally only read about 4 or 5 books a month. But it depends on what I'm reading. Like if it's chunky fantasy, then I'm not going to read that many books. But if it's something like horror or thrillers, then you just want to keep reading them, don't you? So I get through them quickly. Yeah. So it just depends.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because I can't read when I'm doing any of the things that I do for work. Like obviously when I'm writing fiction, I can't listen to other people's fiction on audiobook, and do my day job, which I do 2 days a week. I can't, because I write for that as well. I kind of can't listen to audiobooks. So it's interesting how some people like can listen to audiobooks at work, and they can like listen to 30 books a month, can't they? Because you can basically listen to an 8-hour one a day.
Yeah.
I just find it interesting that like everybody fits reading in different ways, and I can't listen to them when my toddler's awake either, because like Kill Creek, you know, not appropriate 2-year-old material.
Not at all.
This is why I don't watch anything like Stranger Things. It took me so long to watch as well. Like a lot of people binged it one night, and I was like, nope, I can't, because I wait till he's asleep. I don't want to like give him nightmare fuel at this point.
It's quite good in a way though, because it forces you to pace them and enjoy it.
This is true, and I have to watch very like selectively as well. I can't just watch anything that's on TV. It has to be something I really want to watch. So
definitely.
Okay, and I'm hoping in the next sprint, famous last words, that I might actually get something done, because he might stay asleep. Who knows?
I believe in you. I'm sure you will.
Oh, bless you.
No, it's really variable. Like some nights he sleeps, he doesn't ever sleep through, but some nights he'll sleep through the evening, and others he's just up all the time. So just thank you for putting up. If I vanish, you know where I've gone. Okay, I'm going to go to another 40-minute sprint, and then I think for the last one we'll probably do 30 minutes, because I'm normally flagging by then. But if either of you feel that you want to go at any point, just let me know, and that is absolutely
I need to skedaddle now, if that's all right.
Okay.
Sorry,
yeah, absolutely.
I've had a lovely time though. Thank you for letting me join. It's been so much fun.
Nice to actually chat to you as well. I know we've kind of chatted messages, but it's not the same as...
But to speak to you more face to face, still virtually, but seeing your face. And Ellie, it was lovely to meet you as well.
Oh, it's so nice to meet you as well.
Thank you.
You're always welcome. So just let me know if you ever want to come back on, and we can sort this out again.
Awesome. I definitely will.
Okay, all you need to do, I think, is if you click leave stream at the bottom, you should be able to. And if not, I'll remove you from it.
Thank you. Right, let's do the awkward thing. Bye.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go. Bye. Okay. Oh, my computer's saying that it wants to do a reboot. Let's not do that. I'm just going to remind me later. Okay, right. I will go to the sprint now. So we will see you on the other side.
See you in a bit.
Hello, everyone. Hope the kitty didn't get any of you. I was totally ready that time. I was ready.
Yeah,
Over the
me
button.
too.
How did you get on in that sprint, Ellie? Did you have a good session? Oh, I'm just going to remove the kitty actually so we can see each other. Hi.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah, no, I did okay. I read a couple of chapters of my book this time, and it's getting good. It's getting really good.
I'm really intrigued by it. Before, like you said, that it would be like
Sorry, you went a bit quiet then. I couldn't quite hear you.
So yeah, I was just going to say that the cover kind of misled me a little bit, I think, and I didn't expect it to be like that, like you said.
Yeah, it's actually, it's got quite a lot of horror stuff in it, which I was totally surprised by, but I'm really enjoying. It's really intense. Stuff's going down. It's just, it's really good.
That's awesome. I've added it to my list, and yeah, I'm excited. I love finding like new horror authors, especially. Is it written by a female horror author as well?
It is, yeah. Erin Craig. She's the author of House of Salt and Sorrows, which was quite.
Okay. Yeah, I think I have that actually. Is that more fantasy?
Yeah, so that's like I think that one's young adult fantasy.
Yes.
But that one has like an eerie vibe to it as well.
Yeah. Okay.
So she tends to lean more that way, but this one's more, I would say more horror-y.
Awesome. I love discovering new authors, and I was thinking that I've read a lot of horror written by male authors, and I when I get some written by a woman, I'm like, oh, this is great. It's a different perspective. Like, have you read any Simone St. James books, like the Book of Cold Cases, or
no, but I've heard good things.
Yeah, I really liked that. I'm going to try and read her others, but I just think it's like a refreshing perspective, isn't it? And it's kind of like she delves quite into like female roles and like female family member interactions and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's cool to read books aren't just written by men. You know, I love loads of male authors, but yeah, it's definitely good to find. I'm sorry, I'm just going to get rid of some of the kind of odd comments that we get in these things every now and again. We'll leave it there. Let's see what nice comments we've got from people. I did get an ARC for A Game of Life and Death is a book coming from Scholastic early next year that sounds really good. That has stuff to do with hacking and like modern technology and stuff. Excellent. I'm glad you think it's good, Lizzie, because I really like the sound of it. I agree. Wild is a good word to describe it. The relationship, definitely. Like as they get more into each other, the AI and the girl, everything sort of escalates, and they will both do anything for each other. And yeah, it's interesting whether you think it is a bit like the Twilight thing. Like, is it toxic or is it totally romantic? There's kind of a really fine line in it.
Sounds interesting.
Oh, good. You're getting there on the journey. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's good, Lizzie, that you can listen on 2 times. I've been upping the speed a little bit just because it's so intoxicating to see the number of hours going down. Like, do you read audiobooks much?
I really struggle to concentrate on audiobooks for some reason. I'm one of those people that has to listen to it on like 1 times speed. And even then I have to like proper focus on it. I don't know why.
I was talking to Ramia about this recently, and she said that she finds the same, like her mind wanders when she's listening to audiobooks in a way that it wouldn't reading physical ones.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I feel like I need like the act of reading with my eyeballs, if you know what I mean, just to keep me concentrating, because I do tend to wander with my mind. So
yeah, I do too, and I think that's why I like audiobooks and reading on my Kindle and reading physical books. Like, I think depending on what mood I'm in and like how tired I am, like I can do different things better. Like I think certainly audiobooks would be bad when I'm tired because I would just switch off. Yeah, we're having a bit of a bot thing. They seem to find you on all social media, like so there were some that were trying to get us to click on interesting sounding websites. YouTube is very distracting. I can sympathize with that.
Yeah, same.
Excellent, Lizzie. Well done. Very good. Well, we've got half an hour left, so hopefully you'll be able to get more reading done. I'm not sure how much you've got left of it, Lizzie, but it'd be good if you could maybe finish it. Yeah, 1.5 speed is what I'm at the minute. And the problem is, like I said earlier, I do it when I'm driving. So if my mind does wander, it's bad because I can't kind of skip back. I do just accept that I am going to miss some stuff. Yeah, I do like.
I've my fiance likes listening to audiobooks. I feel like there's been quite a few times where I've read a book and then I've been like, oh, I think that you'd really enjoy it, and then I've listened to it with him, so I've sort of like re-listened to it, which is quite nice because it's like a different experience, and because I already know the story, it doesn't matter if I lose concentration a little bit. But there's some really amazing ones that have amazing like production value and stuff and sound effects, and it's like a whole cinematic experience, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Have you heard of Sadie by Courtney Summers?
Yes, that's one I actually have on my Audible, but I
Yes.
haven't listened to it yet, but I've heard it's really good.
It is, because it's got like little bits from podcasts and stuff. Hearing it like auditory, kind of as the podcasts are intended, is really good because it's a full cast as well. So you get like a different person doing the podcast to doing the character stuff. So it's really dark, but I thought it was amazing, and I can't imagine reading the book now because I think the audio production is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely recommend that one, and it might take a bit of concentration because it is quite intense. But yeah, hopefully, will be worth it. Yeah, I think 1.25 to 1.5 is good for me because depending, some people, I talk fast. I just think some people read audiobooks fast, and I won't be able to cope if I up the speed on them. Whereas the one I'm reading at the minute, Kill Creek, seems quite slow. So I felt that I could up that a little bit and still understand what's happening. So yeah, maybe Sadie might be a good one to try, actually. You have to let us know how you get on.
Yeah.
Oh, 14 pages, Lizzie. So you're kind
so
of
close.
I think in the next 30 minutes, Lizzie will have that sorted, unless TikTok beckons or something. It does happen, doesn't it? Right, I'm just going to go into the kitty and change it to 30 minutes. Okay, I think I've done that right. So I managed to hit my daily word count, see Lizzie's presence again. I'm convinced I'm going to get to the point where I can't write without it. So thank you, Lizzie, and, general motivation for getting me there. I feel like I'm getting so close to this book now, so I'm excited that I reckon I will finish it by the end of the month, and then I can edit it for a little bit. But it's
so
raging.
exciting.
Yeah, it does feel good to be at that point where I feel like I know what I'm doing with it now. It's frustrating when you're just going through and you're like, this is going to need so much work. But yeah, so I'm going to leave the laptop. I'm going to wrap some Christmas presents for my little boy because while he's asleep, I can
Very organised.
magic. I'm going to try and read a bit more of this as well because it is so good.
Nice. I'm probably going to have to pop off in a minute.
Sure,
if that's okay. But it's been so much fun.
Thank you. Well, it's up to you if you want to just kind of disappear during the sprint. It is absolutely fine. But I really appreciate you coming. And as I said to Jen, you're more than welcome to come back. And you've both done great on your first sprint, as I knew you would.
It's so nerve-wracking, but it's been so fun. And like she was saying, it's so nice to see faces and to talk like properly, not just online. Well, we are online, but you know what I mean.
Because I think seeing you on YouTube and because I've already heard you talk and then I've seen your messages, I feel like I put the two together and we already have talked, but obviously hopefully I've given you I did this. I went on a spoopathon one and then ended up sort of obsessed with doing them. So yeah, I ended up loving them and doing them every single week now. So yeah, hopefully I've given you the kind of taste for it as well.
You have. Thank you.
Okay, well, yeah, hopefully I'll see you on another one soon. But I'll go to sprint and then obviously Ellie will leave us. So thank you so much. Please go and check out Ellie's channel because it's awesome. And yeah, it'll just be me to finish off in half an hour. So I'll see everyone on the other side. And yeah, thanks again, Ellie. Hopefully I'll see you on here soon.
Thank you, Amy. Bye.
Hi everyone. Thank you for sticking with us. I'm just going to take the kitty off so you can see me properly. Hello. Obviously Ellie and Jen have gone now, so it's just me. So I will just go through the comments and let you know how I've been getting on with my reading and stuff, and then we'll probably finish the night because it is getting pretty late. Awesome. Oh, I think we saw that one last time, didn't we? Yeah, I haven't really done that with YouTube videos. That's an interesting idea to watch them a little bit faster. But yeah, it depends. Like I said, I already talk fast, so I think upping my speed would be a bad idea probably. Okay. Ooh, new Lord of the Rings Andy Serkis sounds good. Thank you. I'm very glad I managed to get my word count today. Yeah, they both were great, weren't they? They're lovely people. And like I said, if you haven't watched their YouTube channel, thanks, Stephen. Awesome. I'm so glad you enjoyed it, Lizzie. I really loved the other ones as well. And I think that's it. I've caught up on the comments. So I'll just tell you how I'm getting on. So wrapped 2 Christmas presents and hid them, which is why I disappeared at the beginning. And then I read some of this, and oh my goodness, this book is so, so good. I really loved Last One to Die and Win, Lose, Kill, Die, Cynthia's other books, but I think this is the best so far. It is about a group of teenagers who get together to play a game that they found on the internet on like a creepypasta thread about the Midnight Man. And if you get together in a group, there's a way of summoning him, and then you sort of play a game and have to escape from him. And it's so good. You would kind of constantly questioning who you can trust. There's sort of multiple third person narrators, and you're wondering all the time whether the supernatural is real or not. And now I'm getting to the reveals. It's all so well executed. There's little bits of social media in between too, and conversations between people. I highly recommend this one. It's great, and I think Cynthia's books, because they're all standalones, you could read any of them. So if you like the sound of this, you could pick this up if you haven't read the others, and then go back and read them because they're great too. But yeah, I'm really happy, and I've only got a tiny bit left of this, so I think I'll probably carry on reading it a little bit after the sprints. So I'll just go through the last couple of comments, then I think we'll call it a night. Oh, good night. Thank you for joining us again. Yeah, Cynthia's books are so good, and like I just said, this one you are going to love if you like the others, because it is absolutely brilliant. Oh, I'll show you my bookmark. Just a cheerful little Friday the 13th Jason one. I don't know how well it shows up on there. If you're interested in really creepy bookmarks, I'll just not the comment off so you can see better. A Stranger Dream sell these, and they do sales quite often on their website. I've got like Trick or Treat ones and Freddy Krueger one, I think, a couple of Lost Boys ones. So yeah, I definitely recommend if you're looking for creepy stuff, they are the place to get them. I'll just go through the last couple of comments. Oh, thank you. Bedtime for me too, Lizzie. Thanks so much for the motivation and support as usual. I think I'm going to call it a night there. I've got through all the comments. Thank you everybody for joining me. I am going to try and do these sprints every Thursday night that I can, because I really enjoy them and I get so much done. So thanks everyone for joining us. Just go through the last ones. Thank you. And good night for now, and I'll see you on the next sprint. So thank you and good night.